Test, mic check, test, mic check.
Storyblocks Audio.
Welcome to the Choose to Change 90-Day Reentry Program. If you are a visitor or new to this program, we welcome you and we are glad you are here. Many of us walked into these rooms not sure of what to expect, but many of us stayed because we saw real people with real problems who had real hope. This 90-Day Reentry Program is a self-supporting Christian group. There are no dues or fees to attend a class, but we do encourage donations from our members and anyone who believes in what we are doing. The only requirement is sincere desire to change. So if you're ready to change your life, then you are in the right place. Through this program, you will learn the tools and resources to finally change your life forever and a relationship-based support system to keep you going. For many of us, there's no easy way out of the mess we created in our lives, even if it wasn't your fault. But the good news is that there is a way out if you will choose to believe in the impossible. Gentlemen, my name is Frank Salazar, and I've been a member of the Choose to Change 90-Day Reentry Program since June 11, 2015, when I walked into the doors. As it says in the reading, not sure what to expect. I know when I came in, I was told this is for ex-cons wanting to change their lives, and I said, I'm not an ex-con, but I do want to change my life, and I'm glad I stayed because Orlando challenged me, and that's what he'll be doing tonight. So without further ado, we're going to be hearing a great message from Orlando Salinas. So join me in welcoming Orlando to the lectern, CEO and mentor.
Thank you, Frank.
All right. All right, guys. Welcome. So then what we do is we do live stream this class. So there's people watching. So I want to welcome those watching on live stream. It helps those, believe it or not, there's people watching from other cities, other countries actually. Not very many people. If you look at, go to my YouTube channels, there's not very many people, maybe 30, 40 people watch it. But we're all helping other people. And you're welcome to go to the website or to the YouTube channel and send the class or maybe a certain class that you might have heard of. Close the door, please. That you might, like this one, like this next classes that I'm about to do here in the next few weeks, I think you really, really want to, you're really going to like. I'm excited about the new year. I'm excited about moving forward in life. There's challenges all over. How many have challenges today? I have challenges. They don't stop. We have to keep moving. We have to keep looking for, many of us, your addictions, legal problems, personal problems. Just there's all kinds of issues. And what I'm going to lay out today, I'm going to lay the foundation for what our real problem is. And hopefully I can help you tonight move forward again or move forward in life. The next, do we have any announcements? Also, for those of you that don't know, right now going on at the same time as this class is another class going on next door, and it's a support group. It's a support group. It's called the Center of Hope Support Group, a support group for families impacted by addiction. In other words, this support group is for family members, mothers, wives, friends, siblings who have had their spouse or their daughter or their son that has problems with addiction. Then their parent, they can go over there to learn how to deal with you as the addict or as the alcoholic or as the crazy person or the ex-con or whatever it is. That's what that program is for. So if you're interested or if you know anybody, and you can go over here if you like to this class. Yes, you can go. This will really help you. You know how to go through there? Just go ahead and go around. Go ahead and go around. It's in the children's church. It's in children's church. And so if you know a family, someone, a mother, a husband, a wife, a grandmother that has a loved one struggling with addiction or anything, problems, this is what this group is for. So it's going to be really, really helpful for a lot of people. And so then what else? Is there any other? Happy New Year. That's about it. So welcome. I want to welcome you to the program. Let me start with this. I know we have a couple of new faces here, so let me start with what we do here. The reason I call it a 90-day reentry program is because every 90 days I go through through exactly the same thing. I go through the whole process, what I call the process of change. And we go through this process to help you understand what needs to change in your life, how to change it, why you're changing it, and help you understand the real problems in our life. And so then that's what we do in here. And I just started the first 90 days. It all starts with desire, with wanting to change your life, wanting to be a better person, wanting to stay sober, wanting to just change. That's where it starts. That's why the first step is desire. Wait a minute. Spelled wrong. Come on, guys. You got to help me out. Desire. There you go. Desire has to do with saying, you know what, I need help. That's what that means. And the next phase is faith. You're going to need some faith. So faith to believe that your life can actually change, to believe that change is possible, to believe that You can change. You're going to need some faith, faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in the process. And we're going to be talking about the mindset. We're going to talk about attitudes. We're going to talk about habits. Does some of this make sense so far? We're going to talk about lifestyles. And lifestyles is something you have to change totally if change is even going to occur. And then we're going to talk about results. Most of us walk in like this, like that little guy there. Triste, abandonado. Hopeless. Sometimes we walk in hopeless, feeling hopeless. And the idea is to, start moving forward in life. That's the whole idea here, guys. So, what I'm going to do today is, assuming that you're ready to change your life, I want to talk about addiction. So, the first thing I want to do is ask you, if I asked you, what is addiction? Can anybody tell me what it is? What is addiction? Get ready to who wants to answer that question? Use the mic. The reason you need the mic is because so they can hear you online.
Something you can give up.
Something you can't give up. Okay? Anybody else want to try it? Something you can't give up. Anybody else?
Something that consumes you.
Something that consumes you. Something that consumes. Consumes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Something that consumes. You know what? Let me go ahead. Well, let me look up this. Go ahead, sir.
Addictions is a habit that one creates that consumes them over time. I know
habit?
it's something that consumes, but it starts with the habit.
Okay, give me a second. A habit that consumes you.
Okay, for me, it's more of a loss of control,
Loss of control.
a compulsive behavior,
Loss of control.
overwhelming.
Okay, but that's the results. Loss of control, overwhelming. But how do you? What's addiction? Getting you to understand why people don't understand what addiction is, because it's a little bit complex. Would you agree? Would you agree? It's a little bit complicated. Addiction. I was addicted. Means something that I can't. It was. You can't. You can't give up. Is that what you said? Who said that? What did you say? Something you can't give up. So it's hard to define addiction. Something that consumes you. That's what you're saying is that something, addiction, consumes you. See, we define the results, the evidence. Something's happening to you. A habit. It's definitely a habit. It's a bad one. So what I want to do for you is define addiction for you. Define addiction for you. And I want to do it in the next 2 or 3 sessions. Okay? And the reason, but before, let me show it to you like this. I want you to look at the screen. Addiction is a 3-part disease. I'm going to call it a disease. It's a spiritual disease, but we're just going to call it a disease for now. I want you to go to the next slide, son, please. So check this out. What is addiction? Yes, well, what is addiction? What it is it's a three-dimensional problem requiring a three-dimensional solution. And by the way, what I'm doing is I'm going to explain this very briefly because I think because first I'm going to explain the solution, or we're going to talk about the solution right now, because I think that once you understand the solution, you'll be able to understand your addiction easier. Just stay with me here. It took me years to get this. This is years in the making. I know a lot about addiction. But one thing you have to understand is that addiction isn't something you can just grab and hold and, oh, here's addiction. Here's addiction. Obviously, right? We have to think about, well, what is addiction? We know what it produces. We know what the effects. You can't control it. It consumes you. You out of control. ¿Qué más dijiste? You lose control. Compulsive behaviors. We see the results. So what's happening? Well, what's happening is in your body, in your mind, and your spirit. That's what's happening. And addiction consumes those three things. Your body, your mind, and your spirit. And that's what makes it so difficult to understand and to just define addiction. But again, I'm not going to try to define it right now. Just you're going to have to come back. Stay with me here. I promise you, you'll get it, but I need to help you understand the solution first. But and by the way, I'm going to give you the definition of addiction according to the AA program. Who's ever heard of the AA program? Okay. The definition of addiction, and which this is right here, according to the AA program, is because the AA program is and has been, to this day, the #1 most effective program that has ever existed. Believe it or not. That's just how it is. That's why, how many people have been in rehab here? What did they use in rehab? Did they use the AA program? Did they use the AA program or some kind of step program? When you okay, in your, you never been to AA? Okay, and you brother, who did you raise your hand? If you go to rehab, if you ever go to rehab, the aftercare, or you stay in a rehab, they usually have meetings. Almost 90% or more of all programs use the AA program. Because really, you're going to find solutions there. But anyway, this is why I'm going to define it according to them, which is basically the description I'm going to describe to you, and the definition is according to the AA program, because I believe it helps you understand the best. They explain it the best way, is what I'm trying to say. Because if you start looking it up, you're going to get several definitions. And I'll give you a couple here so you'll understand what I'm trying to say. AA, in my opinion, explains it the best way. And here's how they explain it. According to addiction is a multi-dimensional issue. If only one dimension is addressed while others are ignored, relapse. And relapse, what does relapse means? That you go back to whatever you were consumed with, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, whether it be hatred and anger. You go back. Is highly likely. Go to the next one. So then I'm going to explain the body part. I'm going to go through this really quick, and then we're going to go to the solution. First, it affects the body. It creates an allergy. When you drink, when you use, When you smoke, what happens? Something happens to your body. And according to AA, it only happens to certain people. And there's a reason why. And this is what we're going to go over through all this. But not now. Next one. And here's how it goes. The body, the physical effects, it's an abnormal reaction. There are some people that can drink a beer and never drink again for 6 months. And then there's other people can drink a beer and it starts a whole chain of crazy events. Yes or no? Who's ever met someone like that? Yeah, that's me. Now, we're going to go through all this. So I'm just not going to go through it right now because it's too lengthy. But understand, I'm just trying to trigger some stuff in your mind. The physical craving is, it says the abnormal drinkers, the body cannot process this substance safely. And why? Because they go crazy. Physical craving, once the substance enters the body, it triggers an immediate, uncomfortable demand for more. You lose control. You know what? Let me pull this up. I thought I had it here. Hold on, guys. No, I don't. So anyway, that's the body part. What's the solution? Okay, you say the solution. That's it. That's the solution. The solution is simple. That it really is. It's just not easy to do. But the solution is simple. As long as you put it in your body, you won't get addicted. Okay, next one. Then it affects the mind. It affects it in many different reasons. If you start researching this, they'll give you all kinds of the dopamines and all kinds of things they'll start explaining to you. And it's true. But let me give you one part of what it messes up your thinking. You are deceived. And it develops this mental obsession. And what the mental obsession says, this time will be different. Who's ever said that? I'm going to raise my hand. And then your body says, your mind says, I can control it now. Who's ever said that? And I'm raising my hand, not just, I'm telling you this, I've said this. You see how I'm telling you, this is what addiction is. It messes the mind up. And what else does it tell you? I've learned my lesson. See? It's called, according to A, and I like what they call it, a mental obsession. With the mental obsession, you never know when you're going to use again. With the physical allergy, you never know when you're going to stop. But anyway, again, I want to explain it all, but I don't want to explain it everything right now. I just want you to get a general idea of what addiction is. Who's ever said this one? Just one more. Yeah. Just one more. That's the mental obsession. And there's a lot more about the mind. We're going to talk about that. But I'm giving you the 3 parts. What addiction is. It's a 3-part problem. It's a problem. It has to do with substances. The 3rd part. Oh, let's continue explaining this. The mental obsession, it's a selective memory. The mind, logic, there is just no logic. The mother and the wife is like, I don't understand him. You know? Yeah. It's an obsession, thought. The obsessive thought overrides rational thinking. It messes you up. Willpower fails. Despite genuine promises, who's made genuine? The mind leads back to using. What's the solution? Surrender. We're going to go over the solution here in a minute altogether. Let's go to the next one. Third part. And this is the part I believe is the key. The spiritual part. The part you don't understand. The AA program and every other psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor, nobody can explain it. They kind of talk around it in que spiritual experience, y que spiritual awakening, y spiritual, but they don't pinpoint it. The AA program calls it a spiritual malady. A spiritual malady means it's something that you can't understand. It's something you don't understand. Malady, it's a malady. It's an inner condition. And I think and this is the main problem, guys. This is it. This is the main problem of what causes addiction and what addiction is. Because, go to the next one. It leaves you restless, uncomfortable in your own skin. You're confused. You're irritable, angry, lonely, and unsettled. This is without drugs. And that's why you put the drug in you, because you feel all these things. And by the way, if you're feeling depressed, this is what you're feeling right here. It's your spiritual problem that you have. Everybody feels it differently. Some feel it was alcohol, some feel it was drugs, some feel it was pornography, some feel it was all three. It doesn't matter. There's the problem. There's something missing in us. It's spiritual. You're discontent, unable to find peace, and depressed. It's a spiritual problem. What's the solution? Spiritual restoration. We're disconnected. That's the definition of addiction. And we're going to go over that here. But I want to go over here in the next few minutes, take the next 15 minutes to go over the solution with you. Because once you understand the solution, this will make better sense. And everything you're going through in life, I call it, will make sense. Because what's so crazy about the problem of addiction or the definition of addiction or whatever the addiction, no matter who you ask, whether you ask the psychologist, he'll tell you what addiction is. Whether you ask the counselor, whether you ask the priest or the pastor, whether you read a book, Hooked, Addiction, psychiatry, no matter who you ask, they're going to give you a definition of addiction. And it's all going to have to do with the mind, or a lot is going to have to do with the mind. But the solution is exactly the same. So let me give you the solution to addiction. Go to the next one. / change becomes a reality. So no matter why you're sitting in here tonight, guys, doesn't matter. But you might say, well, I'm not an addict. But you have this problem. You have the spiritual problem. For the body, we need total abstinence. For the mind, we need total surrender. For the spirit, we need total restoration. But that's addiction. What is addiction? It's a three-dimensional problem. And we can add to that. So, does anybody have any questions here? Or just jump right into the solution? So I'm going to jump right into the solution. And it's so simple, it's ridiculous. The solution is it's a three-part solution problem, right? The solution is a three-part solution. Here you go. Number one, you must admit. You can write this down if you're writing down. Number two, you must surrender. And number three, you must commit. So let me write that down. Admit, surrender, commit. That's a solution to your problem. In this case, addiction. Admit, surrender, commit. And I bold it all down because I'm the kind of person, I'm very simple. I make things complicated. I have to you have to give me something very elementary for me to understand things. So me understanding this stuff, it took me years to understand it. But this program is all about admitting, surrendering, and committing. This is why I do what I do, because there is no other solution to change, to addiction, to staying sober. So let's go over it. Number one, admitting. We have to face the truth. No healing or change can begin until you face the truth. According to John 8:32, it says, como dice, I forgot, I have it right here. You shall know the truth, and what? And the truth shall set you free. So the number one thing when it comes to addiction or change is that you need to admit that you have a problem. So what's the problem? It's this three-part problem. So who has this three-part problem? Who has it? You do. You. This is why it's so hard to understand it over there. No. You got to accept it. You're the problem. Why? Because it's your mind. It's your body. It's your spirit. It's yours. So in order, you have to accept that this is yours. So in order, you have to accept that this is, okay, then this is my problem. You have to admit that. The number one rule to solving any problem in life, what do you think it is? Correct, identify, come to this conclusion. And I'm taking it to the world. I'm starting here. There is no easy way out if you don't embrace it, that you're the problem.